Hi, this is Keshav Sridhar from APIT Group India, and in this video we'll be looking at the initiatives taken by our learning center, APIT Learning Center, in Africa, particularly in few universities in Nigeria, the work that we have been doing. By the way, I'm currently in Nigeria and I'm making this video while I'm in the northern part of Nigeria. So happy to showcase our contribution, that is contribution of APIT Learning Center in skill development and thereby community development and nation building.
The CEOs of world companies are Indians. And Indians and Nigerians, we are like first cousins. Culturally, habitually, so many things are similar. When Indians can do it, why can't you do it? Why are you pulling yourself down? Let's face the reality. The system that you have, yes, it is good, but practically it is not working. If it was working, then why would we struggle with unemployment? Why would an engineer or a PhD holder drive a Bolt cab? Aren't you seeing this every day? It is not sufficient. And which is why we are here to offer such kind of program which you can utilize to compete internationally. It will not happen in a single day, but can't we try? If we don't put that first foot forward, when will we start? Is my question. We should start somewhere, and some university should start, yes or no. If all of us think that nothing will change, then never will change. The same situation was in India 30 years back, but things have changed because people wanted change. That's all. That's my humble submission. To answer your question, sir, on papers, that system is wonderful. Practically, it is not working, which is why you get back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I hope we have really benefited from this presentation. Can you put your hands together to appreciate and
So it's our endeavor through this video to directly connect with the decision makers involved in skill development in countries in Africa. However, this video is for anyone in general who is vigilant and is a patriotic citizen of his or her country. Skill is nothing but application of knowledge through gainful employment for the benefit of the society and thereby nation building. Yes? So when we talk about skill development, there are different stages of skill development, right? Process of skill development starts at home, of course, and then it starts from your primary, secondary schooling, then in your colleges, universities, and of course, once you start your employment at your office and company as well, right? So it's a continuous process. So skill development is a continuous lifelong process, right? For any individual who wants to be gainfully employed, there are three options usually in any country, in any society, right? So either you get employed in the private sector or government sector, or you become a businessman or businesswoman or an entrepreneur, right? Irrespective of what your career choice is, the expectation from the organization, the industry, the people remains the same largely. The framework of expectation from an individual remains the same largely. For whom are we doing the skill development? It is for the people, right? So, which means skill development doesn't happen in isolation from society. So, skill development happens in the society, which means that, the overall development of the society, the community development should go hand in hand. Otherwise, just for the name's sake, if we have to do skill development, then you won't see that result. And which is why we'll be creating a series of video connects with regard to skill development, of course. That's the major theme. But however, keeping skill development at the center stage, there are many other things that we need to focus on. When I say community development or development of the society, it basically means socio-economic development. And as a responsible group from India who's doing business in Africa, especially many projects that we have done in Nigeria, so it's our moral responsibility to ensure that we give back to the society as a responsible company group from India. So we would do our best with our humble contribution towards the overall socio-economic development as well. So keeping the skill development at the center stage, we would also be focusing on many other aspects which would actually create a positive ecosystem to support or boost skill development initiatives. India and Africa, we have young population, and this is the digital age we are in, and it is the right time to hit the throttle. And it's not about just the momentum and the impetus that needs to be given. It's also about knowing the direction. It's also about having a direction. You may have best of the best car, but you don't know the direction where you want to go, then it's of no use. Also, it would be wonderful if you have a navigation system in this journey, right? So, which is what the APIT Learning Center would be doing for you. As in, we would be your trusted partners to ensure that this entire process of skill development is done scientifically in a methodical way, because we are a group from India and we've been there, done that. As in, what I mean is, most of the challenges that we see in Africa, it was there around 2-3 decades ago in India. And in India we have braved all these challenges, and which is why we would be able to contribute towards the overall socio-economic development here in Africa wonderfully well. When we are talking about skill development, a very, very critical cog in this is, of course, to catalyze overall job creations. So that happens with public-private partnership. There should be a very robust mechanism for public-private partnerships. So you would be seeing many video connects and many initiatives that we would be taking, which would definitely bring many positive changes. Because democracy is very, very critical in nation building. That's what we firmly believe. So when we say democracy, it means inclusiveness, diversity and inclusiveness. So in a society which has diversity and also practices inclusiveness, as in everyone has a voice, everyone is heard and everyone has a contribution to make. So that is a positive and healthy society. So these would be some of our guiding force in this journey throughout, and we are confident that we will be able to contribute in a very, very positive way the overall socio-economic development of Africa. And a very good litmus test that we need to do as responsible citizens of any country, just cross our hearts, and because this is a common thing when it comes to any developing economy. So this is a common attitude that we usually see, wherein people have this attitude in general. We can actually generalize and we can observe this attitude in developing economies, that people would have this attitude that somehow I will sail through today and I'll think about tomorrow when it comes tomorrow. So if we'll have to cross our hearts and honestly think, if this is the attitude of the population at large in any country, then we need to start with bare minimum basics, and it would be impossible for skill development to thrive if this is the basic attitude in any society. I think, as they say, hire for the attitude and skill will follow, is what we say in the industry, right? So if this is the attitude of a country at large, let's say, or a community at large, then how can you expect skill development to happen in its true spirit? So this means basic rewiring has to be done, and so many basic corrections has to be done, and then simultaneously when we start these skill development initiatives, it will actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. Otherwise, everything, all the initiatives that any government would take in any country with regard to skill development would be a waste of time and resources without making the basic bare minimum corrections in the society. Now, again, I am telling you, public-private partnerships are very, very critical. Firstly, we need to cross our heart, and as decision makers, especially in government and also in big corporates, we need to cross our hearts and be very, very honest and introspect and answer this question, that do we actually have this mechanism? Are the policies having a long-term vision, and at the same time it is not denting the people on day-to-day basis? So policy making is very, very critical. And in developing economies, everything cannot be done by government. You cannot expect government to do everything, which is why responsible corporates, companies, groups should come forward and ensure that we contribute whatever best we can, our humble contribution in the overall community development, society development. Through this video, I also urge all the big corporates and companies here in Africa who are interested to partner with us. Please, let's work together. More like-minded people, more is the synergy, and the effort will be multiplied. And we'll see encouraging results a lot quicker, which is what we want, right? The next decade can be Africa's, provided the countries as a union focus on these critical aspects. Through APIT Learning Center, of course, we would be focusing on skill development. But as I said, skill development doesn't happen in isolation. It happens hand in hand with overall socio-economic development. And this is the right time to hit the right way. So all the countries in Africa, all the decision makers in Africa, all the big corporate heads in Africa, through this video, it's my humble request to all of you to please give us an opportunity to partner with you. And the changes may not come in a single day, but I'm sure when we together put that effort, we will soon see results which will be game changer for generations to come.